This new video by Jamari, big up Jamari. This is about Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen just tried to come back. She totally failed. Ellen just tried to come back. She totally failed. Big up Ellen DeGeneres. Big up Jamari. Let's see what Jamari is saying. Let's hear what Ellen DeGeneres is saying.
So it has been 1.5 years since Ellen released what she described as her very last stand-up special, For Your Approval. This of course was Ellen's big clapback to her detractors, haters, whatever you would like to call them, after she was outed for being yet another power-hungry tyrant in the entertainment industry. Basically,
she was proof, by the way. Ellen DeGeneres is proof. I've always said, I think, my theory or my philosophy or my saying has always been that counterculture really only works if you're employed. You know, it doesn't really work if you're like sustained by a fan base. If you got your own fans, it's basically impossible to get cancelled. But one of the really damaging things about counterculture is if you get cancelled for something that goes against your perceived perception, it can really fuck with your career. You know, that's basically my theory. So if you do something that is against how you're presented in public, it's gonna really fuck you over. For instance, Lizzo before she got cancelled for doing all that bullying stuff to her backup dancer, she was seen as like the happy fat girl, the girl's girl, the kind of she was like a big happy rainbow. Everyone just associated love and happiness and warmth with her. The moment that story came out about her allegedly bullying her backup dancers or being mean or demanding, whatever happened, and she went, I think they took her to court and shit, it basically ruined her career. She's never really recovered from that. Same goes for Ellen DeGeneres. She was known as somebody that was really loving and open and cool and warm, but then when people found out that behind the scenes she was the complete opposite, it destroyed her. That was the thing that really destroys her. So that's why it's really important, I think, if you're a celebrity, to just be 100% yourself, for better or worse. So if you're a cunt, if you come across like a bit of a cunt, just be a cunt. You know what I mean? Like, you're better off being yourself, having people like you for that or hate you for that, than pretending to be somebody else, and then when it comes out that you're a cunt, people are then gonna revolt. The same thing goes for The Rock. I don't know if this is true. But I've heard from a lot of people in my life who are sometimes, I guess you can call them, colleagues or whatever. I've heard a lot of people in my life who said to me that The Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson, in real life is actually a bit of a cunt. He presents himself really nicely on camera. He's very kind of open and charismatic and chill. But I've heard from a bunch of people who work in like the entertainment industry, who do hair and makeup, who are on sets and stuff, that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is really, really not a nice guy. I'm hoping that's not true, but imagine something like that come out. Imagine if something like that came out in public and that was the general news. It would destroy his career way more than a sexual assault allegation, because everyone associates Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for being like a cool guy. So if you found out he was a fucking tyrant, it would completely destroy his image. So that's what happened to Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen treated anyone around her who wasn't a celebrity like dirt underneath her shoes. And immediately in her last comedy special, she chose to play the victim in the funniest way possible.
Ellen DeGeneres finds herself at the center of a storm of controversy.
Being accused of going too far, too gay.
Yes, Ellen really acted as if going too gay was ultimately the reason for her cancellation.
Look at Jamari now. Jamari's feeling himself, innit? Did Jamari get married or something? What's happening? I feel like he's showing more of his face. What happened to Jamari? Is Jamari showing more of his face because he's in a good space with his family, or he's feeling good himself, or is he back on the market? Jamari's out here showing full face. The head is a bit up as well, showing his hairline. He's letting people know, innit? He's letting people know this hombre, this chico is out to play. Big up Jamari.
I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that she branded herself and earned hundreds of millions of dollars based on this nice person facade that she kept running for decades. The woman's catchphrase was literally, "Be kind to one another." She would say that literally every day at the conclusion of her show.
I always end each show by saying, "Be kind to one another."
Breaking news tonight. Is the Queen of Nice really the Queen of Me?
And then it turns out there were dozens of accusations of her being a Karen witch.
That's pretty impressive though, to be fair, no? Let's be honest. That's pretty impressive to have this brand about be kind, but then behind the scenes you're actually a tyrant. It's kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. There's something kind of cool about it, Be kind to one another and you're the complete opposite in private or behind closed doors. That is actually kind of swaggy.
both professionally and when she was out in the general public.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she is. This environment, this toxic culture that she created in the office has been going on for 16 years.
In 2018, Dana DiMatteo flew from Chicago to Los Angeles and was delighted to be picked out of the audience to have some fun with Ellen. But then she says she was shocked when she was briefed on the comedy bit by the producers.
They tell you, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
That sounds like a lot of comedians, to be fair. Ellen DeGeneres sounds like a lot of the comedians that we like to follow or like to follow on this show. I wouldn't be surprised if there's other comedians that have the exact same thing about they get really pissy if other people in the room are funnier. I bet you there's comedians like that. Actually, doesn't Joe say that sometimes? Doesn't Joe sometimes get upset when like quote unquote normies try and like be funny around him? Leave it to the comedians. You guys aren't funny. People, I think he says all the time, right? Hanging around the normies is soul destroying. They're not funny. They just don't get it. They're not as wacky as us, Jesus Christ. God forbid you make a joke in front of a professional comedian. God forbid you get better laughs. You get a better reception. You get better fucking, laugh applause from the people around you making a little throwaway joke. Jesus Christ.
Emailed the owner of the restaurant and complained about your chip nail polish.
What?
And I was like, what?
So essentially, Ellen was one of the first people to be genuinely cancelled, and once she was outed for being a big meanie, her show's ratings went down the shitter. And even her other daytime show, Ellen's Game of Games, was cancelled at that very same time in 2022. Essentially, everyone's gay grandma stopped being invited to the cookout. Like, no more carne asada for you, Ellen. As a matter of fact, I kinda think that you deserve to eat rabbit food for the rest of your life. You know what? Fuck the rabbit food, I'm giving you pig slop.
Did you feel like you were being canceled?
I mean, I really didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. It was too orchestrated. It was too coordinated. And, people get picked on, but for 4 months straight for me, and then for me to read in the press about a toxic work environment when all I've ever heard from every guest that comes on the show is what a happy atmosphere this is and what a happy place it is.
Come on, Ellen. How are you complaining about 4 months of cancellation when you allegedly was running a toxic workplace for 16 years? Come on, man. You have to just take the lickings. You got to take the lashings. You got away with it for 16 years. You finally got caught out and exposed. It is what it is. Come on. 4 months of cancellations and it's a coordinated attack, bro. You allegedly were attacking people in your office for 17 years before it blew up. God damn.
But yes, this whole ordeal was a pretty jarring series of events. As during the mid-2010s, Ellen was really considered one of the least problematic people in show business. She was out here winning humanitarian awards, making buku money, and she was essentially the fun grandma of daytime television, dancing around in Target, playing with kids. But
big up Ryu Ken. Hey bro, you gonna do a watch along for the main card? I don't know. I don't think so. Do you guys want me to do that? I've got quite a lot of stuff to cover in here. I may check in for the main event, maybe, and see what's going on. But I'm not really looking to do a watch along, to be fair. Unless you guys want to do a watch along, I've got quite a lot of tabs to get through with stuff that's already on there. But if you guys want me to do a watch along, I'll do a watch along.
Then one by one, people came forward, the walls came down, and her entire world kind of collapsed.
Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. Yeah, because I'm mean. No mean people in show business.
As really did the facade of the entire
The problem wasn't that you were mean, Ellen DeGeneres. The problem is that you presented an image that you were not mean, that you were the kind person. Then when people found out you were mean, it wasn't congruent to the image they had in their head, and the image that you portrayed. That was the main problem. Big up Ryu Ken, you got to do the max fight. Okay, cool. I'll do the max fight. Big up Ryu Ken.
Entertainment industry in general. I mean, now especially with all
big up Don Dotter, big up Tool 4, big up Don Dotter.
The Epstein stuff. Hollywood, as well as many of the elites of the world, are really more under fire than ever before, as it's like this huge spotlight has now been shined on some of the biggest public figures on the planet. But we will get back to that idea in regards to Ellen here in a minute. Either way, it was so funny to me how disgraceful it was for her to use her final breath to try and save face this way, acting as though she was being unfairly kicked out of the entertainment industry for being too blunt, pulling both the gay and the woman card.
For those of you keeping score, this is the second time I've been kicked out of show business. Can't be gay and be in show business. Mean, old, and gay, the triple crown. I have OCD and ADD. I'm honest, I'm generous, I'm sensitive and thoughtful, but I'm tough, and I'm impatient, and I'm demanding, I'm direct. I'm a strong woman.
The essence of the special really was totally a lie.
Overall, the entire special was a steaming pile of dog crap, and it did not make the splash that Grandma thought that it would, as she really came off as entitled.
Why? Like, again, I got question specials. Why the fuck is Ellen DeGeneres making a special anyway? You know? Why is Ellen even making a special? She'd be better off just doing like a live show. Like a live sort of like recording of like, you know, pretending it's Ellen DeGeneres show and just sitting down talking to the camera. Making some offhand jokes here and there. But she has no business being on stage doing an actual stand-up special. I know she came up as a comedian and shit, but it's like, she's way past that now. Like, it just makes no sense why she's got a special. She would have been better off just like talking into a camera lying in bed.
Entitled, arrogant, deeply out of touch, and completely unapologetic. And both critics and fans alike were left disappointed. And then to make matters even worse, it's really no secret that she had this very public relationship with Diddy for years, who has congruently lost public favor at a rapid pace due to being exposed for his not-so-private life. And his expose coincidentally actually happened right around the time that Ellen's special came out. You know, they really killed those two birds with one stone.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yeah. You know, they what? You know what we need to see? If she really wants to come back, she should have Diddy back on when he gets out of jail, or have a show and have them two. I mean, that would break the internet. If when Diddy gets out of jail, the first interview he does is with Ellen DeGeneres, that would fucking break the internet. That'd actually do them both world of favors. They probably both won't do it because they don't want to damage their brand further than it's already been damaged. But that would actually do numbers if Diddy's first interview out when he gets released from jail would be to sit down and DeGeneres, like on her YouTube channel or something. That would be fucking crazy.
Yes. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that?
And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
And then it will carry on there.
Yeah. No, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
Thanks to my friend Diddy. You are always the life of the
Jesus
party.
Christ.
Apparently I have a history of not knowing which parties I've been invited to, Diddy. Happy birthday, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, or as I like to call him, Cuddle McSnugglestuff. No, you don't need to know why. This group of kids had a dream to dance with Diddy. Today that dream came true.
Christ.
You're gonna be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
You know I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right, not too late though.
Not too late?
Not too late,
What
please.
time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late, because you know, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I really do think that it's no
Jesus
coincidence
Christ.
that she was so close to Diddy for all of these years, who ended up being an absolute...
So was she Diddy's Ghislaine? Was Ellen DeGeneres Diddy's Ghislaine? Is that what I missed? I completely missed that part of the story. Ellen DeGeneres was fucking Diddy's Ghislaine.
freaked out psychopath who would do absolutely anything to gain power and influence. Like, the guy was doing really bad shit for decades. And to me, anyone who had a seemingly close relationship to him like Ellen did for all of these years, while she was also so deeply ingrained in Hollywood in general, had to know that some suspect shit was going on in the background. Because you have to understand that these things were allegedly talked about in entertainment circles for decades. But still, Ellen platformed him almost every single year of her show. She paraded him around.
That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. I think someone like a Diddy could have been clever enough to only show some, like, even people in hip hop say the same thing. He was very clever. You know, he was very particular and intentional about who he showed certain things to, who he exposed certain people, certain side of his lifestyle. Because he's from hip hop, right? He's also African American. He knows how I'd say somewhat close minded and, you know, whatever people can be. So he knew to only tell certain people about the kind of things he liked to do in the bedroom, the kind of things he liked to party with. You know what I mean? Like, because even the drugs, I think some of the drugs only came out at a certain time. You had to stay at the party after a certain time to see all the pink stuff. If you stayed at the party, you know, if you left before that, you would have just saw the great catering. You may have saw a couple fucking strippers twerking and shit, but that would be most of it. But if you stayed later, that's when it really got to get freaky. So I'm pretty sure Diddy showed Ellen one side of his personality but not the other side. I'm pretty sure. So it's not fair to say that, oh, she knew and she didn't say nothing. So I doubt she knew. I doubt it.
kids, and even described him as her favorite guest of all time. Look, all I'm saying is you don't earn a nickname like Cuddle McSnugglestuff by merely having a working relationship with someone. And when Ellen was questioned about her connection to Diddy when the files kind of started to come out, she had absolutely nothing to say.
Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show many times. Have a good night. Have you been to his parties?
Not only that, but once the hammer really started to come down,
once he mentioned P. Diddy, her face though, when she mentioned P. Diddy,
she had absolutely nothing to say.
Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P.
Her face when Diddy's name was called. Look at her face. She's just like Brian Callen, isn't it? She's just a little bit like Brian Callen. Just a little bit like Brian. If you squint, she's a little bit like Brian Callen. Ellen DeGeneres looks like a clean-shaven Brian Callen, isn't it? Ellen DeGeneres looks like a clean-shaven Brian Callen.
P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show many times. Have a good night. Have you been to his parties?
Not only that, but once the hammer really started to come down upon Diddy's head,
Pause.
Ellen coincidentally moved right out of the country right around the time that his home was getting raided by the feds. And eventually all of the things that Diddy was doing in the dark would come to light, as we all learned that Sean Combs was a prolific abuser of multiple people.
When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent. And he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs.
So in November of 2024, when she and her wife moved to southwest England, many people saw this as her attempting to distance herself from the downfall of her good friend. In other words, the spot got too hot and Ellen had to bounce. Although she herself claimed that she left because Trump would be taking office, and she simply could not live in a country being governed by his regime.
You're a beautiful woman up there. That's your mother, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, look at her.
Hello.
Yeah, she's available if you're interested. I'd like to offer her.
So she went over to England and purchased a $20 million ranch. And then a couple of months after that, another $30 million mansion.
Lovely.
She spoke about this publicly during a private event held at a theater over there. We got here to England the day before the election, and we woke up to lots of texts from our friends and crying emojis. We were like, we're staying here. We're not going back, we're not leaving. So we bought a house that we thought was going to be a part-time house, then we decided we needed a different house, and now we're selling that house. And strangely enough, after only living in England for 1 calendar year, the couple has reportedly moved back to America.
Of course they have.
And the whole thing seemed extremely suspicious and performative to me. For one, because of everything happening with Cuddle McSnuggle stuff.
Also, the Trump presidency stuff, like the I'm moving from the country stuff, that would have made more sense in the first term, you know? The first term, maybe, when it was really chaotic and, you know, MAGA shit, you know, January 6th, all that time, that would have made more sense. But the second term, you know, and there's been some crazy things with ICE and stuff, but it's been quite tame. There's no real need to do the performative, oh, I'm moving, I can't handle Orange Man, I can't handle Republic Side. It's not that deep, man. Just shut your mouth, just stay. You know what I mean? Just take a deep breath and stay. By the time the next election comes around, you know, you'll be fine, you know? Like, just relax. So it didn't really make any sense, the whole, like, we're leaving the country because we don't feel safe thing. It's like, relax, man. You're fucking Hollywood celebrities, multi-millionaires, like, you'll be fine wherever, it doesn't matter where you are in America, you'll be perfectly fine.
And for two, because Ellen is a massive hypocrite. She said during the same live appearance at the Everyman Theater that she specifically was leaving because of the Trump regime, and the fact that the LGBT community would now be under attack, claiming that she took issue with same-sex marriage potentially being unprotected once again under...
Big up Lou. Big up Lou 6598. Dude, he's blowing up Iran. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about that. I forgot about that, bro. Sorry about that, Lou. I completely forgot. Iran's getting blown to smithereens right now. I completely forgot about that.
Federal law.
There are people in America and Republicans who would quite like to undo the right for gay people to get married. I mean, that's back on the table as a debate, I think,
absolutely.
isn't it?
The Baptist Church in America is trying to reverse gay marriage. They're trying to, at the very least, stop it from happening in the future and possibly reverse it. And Portia and I are already looking into it, and if they do that, we're going to get married here.
Which would be totally fair until you consider the idea that Ellen is very good friends with former President George Bush, who during his time in office was opposed to gay marriage himself.
It's none of my business what somebody's. Now, when somebody makes it my business, like on gay marriage, I'm going to stand up and say I don't support gay marriage. In my state of Texas, if we try to have gay marriage, I would campaign against it.
Jesus Christ.
It's also hilarious to me that she said, "Oh,
Such a throwback, isn't it? You don't hear people speaking like that anymore, isn't it? It's such a. It feels like a throwback. You don't hear people speaking like that at all. Zero. I don't think. Is there a politician nowadays that'd be brave enough to say that? I think actually they do. I'm not gonna lie. I think they actually do. I take that back. There's definitely somebody. I wonder what politician. I know there's there's people like Nick Fuentes that would say something like that easily, but I wonder what politician will be able to say that on camera today, without being quote unquote cancelled. Like strongly disavow. Like they come out and say, yes, I'm against gay marriage. Not in some flowery language like, oh, same sex, civil, this part. No, like what politician now could come out and say categorically, I am against gay marriage? I wonder who could say that. And get away with it, by the way, and get away with it.
oh, everything in England is so much better. That apparently the people were so much nicer and life was so much simpler. But now only 1 year later, after spending all of this money and taking a strong political stance, she is crawling back on her hands and knees to America. And so her so-called activism comes off as extremely performative every time, as...
God, her ears are so big. I never noticed how big her ears are, isn't it? Jesus Christ. And she looks like she's about to cry. Or is this AI video? It looks like she's about to cry all the time.
As for one, she obviously has these funds to spend tens of millions of dollars in the matter of only a couple of years to essentially run away from her perceived issues, while she simultaneously acts as though she's some sort of political refugee. And secondly, I really do think that she moved across the pond simply to flip these mansions. Like I said, she lived in the first one for only 1 month, while also simultaneously hiring and managing a 70-person project to renovate the home in 10 weeks, before listing it for $10 million more than she had paid. While all along, Ellen had the goal to act like she was living that farmer life.
It's smart though. It's a smart play, isn't it? Come to United Kingdom. She's a big name. She's probably going to be the hugest name in England. The fact that she was here was big news in the UK. Come to England, promote this fucking trad wife type of lifestyle of you being on the farm and living by the land, and then use your fame and your popularity to rise the value of the crib. Once you sell it, you can sell it then for 10 mil more, and you know what I mean, 10 mil after a year is fucking good return, minus all the fees and what you paid for it, but still 10 million for a year is absolutely great return. So yeah, that might have been the game, that might have been the hustle. Move over there, whatever house you get, publicize it all over social media, let people know what it looks like and what it's about, and then once you're about to move, you'll inadvertently raise the value of it. Crazy.
She was clearly not cut out for this shit at all.
Hello, sheep. You're not supposed to be in here.
Sheep will be fun.
Good job, baby.
You can do it, baby.
We're going in a circle. Much admiration for rowers.
And because Ellen did technically live there, even though it was for such a short amount of time, literally 1 month, she could claim it was her primary residence, saving her up to 24% in capital gains tax when she decided to sell the house, which in this case was over $2.4 million. Are y'all starting to get the picture I'm painting?
Jesus Christ.
And you have to also keep in mind that she has flipped over 50 mansions in the last 20 years, owning 24 houses in Southern California alone.
Wow. I didn't know Ellen DeGeneres had this kind of crazy property portfolio, bro. Fucking hell. Big up Ellen DeGeneres. I didn't know she was I didn't know she flipped houses.
And even in regards to her flipping this first house and buying this other mansion, she was completely disingenuous about that as well, trying to claim that they simply had to move because there was not proper room for her horses on the first property, which is something I think you would consider when you're shelling out $20 million. You know,
what a great problem to have though, isn't it? What a great problem to have. The house isn't big enough to fit my horses. What a great problem to have, man. I can't wait to get to that level. I can't wait to get to a level where I start complaining about not having enough land for my horses to graze on.
In reality, I think the little weasel had the quick flip plan all along, And then she just also wanted the social brownie points to boot. And that's not to even mention the fact that she pissed off a bunch of locals there, including the local government, because she did not get the proper permission to do this quick flip of hers. And then the biggest issue she ran into is that she might have disturbed ancient Roman remains. And then also the fact that she put this massive wire fence around the property that people feared would create serious flooding issues for the rest of the village that she was living in. And funny enough, months after this renovation...
A wire fence would cause flooding issues? Really? Or are they just being picky? A wire fence? A wired fence means a fence that's not like solid, right? How could a wired fence cause flooding issues? Maybe underneath or something? Surely the water would pass through. I wonder how that works. Huh.
While this farmhouse was still sitting on the market, a flood did actually hit the area and completely surrounded the estate
Jesus.
she was trying to flip with polluted water.
God damn.
So, Montecito is under complete evacuation, the entire town. This is crazy. This creek next to our house never flows, ever. It's probably about 9 feet up, and it's going to go another 2 feet up.
Jesus Christ.
To evacuate. We need to be nicer to Mother Nature, because Mother Nature is not happy with us.
And if that is not beautiful karma by nature, I do not know what is. Now, to go back to the comments...
George Bush is like, I told you I'm against gay marriage, you know? George Bush seeing that fucking river and seeing them probably like, see, I told you.
that I made earlier, there have been a lot of unfounded rumors circulating online in regards to Ellen and the islands. But so far, she has not been listed explicitly at all in the files that have been released. Although Aaron Rodgers did go on to Joe Rogan and had this to say about her show.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right? It's a similar image to that, right?
No.
I know Jamie does.
What is it?
It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore.
Oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen?
Yeah.
Really?
Just look at the temple and then look at the...
Wow.
Let me see Ellen's background.
Hold on.
What?
Whoa.
Oh, similar. That looks like a building, though.
That's funny.
It just goes to show that when someone muddies their reputation the way she did, I feel like all kinds of allegations...
Big up Aaron Rodgers, man. Big up Aaron Rodgers being a conspiracy theorist. I love that. Big up Aaron Rodgers being a conspiracy theorist. She was sending coded message to Jeffrey with the fucking wall decor. I love it. Anyways, big up Jamari. Big up Jamari. Check out the video yourself. It's a really good one. Check out the video yourself. It's titled Ellen Just Tried to Come Back. She Failed. It's there. Check it out. It's there. Check it out. It's there. Check it out. It's there.